Alright, hey guys. I did the last video on how to evaluate and progress your pitching prospects through the minors. But I did it on a video of I did it on a player that turned out well. It was more of how to do things, but I want to also get a perspective on how not to do things. Because there is a bit of randomness and luck when progressing prospects, but at the same time, you can affect it. You have influence. You can absolutely kill your prospect or be the reason that they shined. What we're gonna look at today is this pitcher, Rodney Colbert or Colbert. I don't know how to say his last name, but anyways, he was drafted in the 2013 rookie draft. He was the 13th pick overall. And we're going to go look at him, look at his scouting report, and he was a 4.43 when he got drafted. Okay, so we're going to take a look at his stats. Now, when he was drafted, he immediately that season played 6 games at the single A level. And from those 6 games, you can see that he kind of struggled. He went 3-1, but his ERA was high. And as we looked at it in my last video, don't always look at the ERA because of statistics like this. Batting average, balls in play, 368, that's high. He doesn't control that. Here's what he does control. From the 35 innings, you can kind of gather that his stuff rating's above average. His control is not there. His movement is far and beyond his current league. But that control rating is enough to hold him back. And sometimes there's nothing you can do. Some pitchers just have low control. But in this guy's case, 4.3 is manageable. Okay, we don't have a good sample size of 100 innings, like I was saying, to make sure that we do. This is only 35 innings. Now, I think the first mistake here is that he was promoted to AA far too quickly. 8 strikeouts is very good. 0.3 home runs. Obviously, very, very good. But the control rating with 4.3 walks per 9 and only 35 innings, that's a red flag right there. What I would do is wait till next season. Get a full 100 innings. Then decide where that control rating is at. If he's 21 years old and still in single A, so what? It's not a big deal. I would rather have a 21-year-old in single A than a dead pitcher. You know, he could have been a very good above average pitcher, number 2, number 3 starter, but you know what? Maybe even number 1 starter, but you know what? If you don't let his control develop, he's not going to be a starter at all. He's just going to be a relief pitcher that hopefully doesn't hit a rough streak of walking people. So we're going to look at what happened to him. The very next season, he got sent to AA. Now he's 21 years old in AA. Only pitched 35 innings. Chances are... Okay, he played 39 games. He didn't start these games. So he wasn't starting in AA. And he had a huge ERA. And his batting average for balls in play is ridiculous too. But from these 35 innings, his control is clearly not on par with what the other pitches are and what it should be for that of the AA league. I mean, his stuff rating is great. That walks per 9, it's skewed because he's a relief pitcher right now. They were using him as a relief pitcher for this season, so it's gonna look a lot worse because he doesn't get that many innings, but at the same time, it's still pretty bad. So the next season, he goes a full 110 innings, 20 games. You can look at it now and get a very good assessment on where he's at. His movement's great. His strikes per 9 are still above average. I wouldn't say that 7.6 strikes per 9 is a average statistic. I think it's still above average. It's not great. It's pretty good. But it's not going to be like top of the notch. The control, though, a very glaring issue. Huge red flag. He's not ready for this level, and he's being set back because he was promoted too early. So 5.2 walks per 9. Now, at this point, he's still being promoted, and that's not good. At 23 years old, he's in AAA, and he pitched about 100 innings, 95.2 innings, and he had 71 walks. And at this point now, he's gotten so bad that his stuff is probably, like, every statistic that he has as a whole is regressing because he's not doing well in these leagues. He's being rushed. 5.4 strikes per 9. He's not ready for this. He can do way better than that. He's not living up to his potential. He can do much better. The walks per 9, another, I mean, it's self-explanatory at this point. Way too high. Home runs are even going up a little bit. I mean, that 1.3 is still really good, but you can see the difference because he's doing so well. Everything is regressing. And then another season goes by, 7-4, 4.63, another 100 innings or so. The walks are down. This is actually pretty manageable, but the strikeouts, they're going back up, but they're not where he needs to be. They're not at his full potential, okay? And at this point, I would put him in AAA or AA for another season before getting called up, but he gets called up prematurely, and you see what the results are. 5-7, 5.42 ERA in 73 innings. His walks per 9 still high, strikes per 9. He's not even a strikeout pitcher anymore. Really, he's just an average pitcher by now. 1-3, 506, 37 innings. He's a relief pitcher now, and he strikes per 9 and walks per 9 still as a relief pitcher. Not good. And then this season, he's doing way better because his batting average for balls in play is higher, but he's still, those walks are still killer. His strikeouts are much higher, but those walks are killer. And what we're looking at here is a pitcher that's now a 3.42, when he was drafted, he was a 4.43. So you can see the regression, okay? He actually regressed in stuff for the 2014 season, and then in the 2014 season, I believe, yeah, he was prematurely put in AA after only 35 innings in single A at age 20. So you can see how rushing your prospects can really, really hinder their ratings. Sometimes it's a crapshoot. This guy's control rating was probably fragile to begin with. It was probably an average 3 that could have gone either way. He could have, no matter what, regressed down and had control issues his whole career, or he could have been a decent pitcher. You never know. I mean, three walks per 9, anywhere in that range, that's manageable. It's not great, but it's manageable. So him having anywhere in the 4s is just too much. They're never going to have a good pitcher if he's averaging that many per game. Well, per 9. Even in college, you could see 3.1, but that's not bad. So he had the potential to be a decent pitcher. Now he's just a relief pitcher. He could have been a starter. And you can see now that being rushed through these leagues has really hindered his abilities. And now he's just an average relief pitcher with decent stamina. So that right there is how you can ruin a prospect, by rushing them. You want to take your time, make sure you're doing well, make sure that you get enough playing time at each level before promoting them. And that's it. That's all.